Hey everyone. So it's like February 19th, 8:03 p.m. and I'm gonna be having top surgery in like less than 12 hours. Alright, I'm gonna be having top surgery with Dr. Chun Rhim in Tysons Corner, Virginia. He is covered under the Kaiser Permanente Mid-Atlantic region. Yeah. So I'll briefly tell you what I went through to get my top surgery covered as a non-binary trans person who is currently not on testosterone, and I don't plan to be on testosterone. Alright, so I started this process back in August 2018. So at that point I have been, thinking about coming out and transitioning for like 1 or 2 years at that point, right? Before that, I did go to another therapist briefly, but since she wasn't, covered under my insurance plan, I had to stop going because it just got a little bit too expensive, right? So when the Kaiser Permanente representatives came over to like my workplace, I privately asked them questions if they knew if my company's health insurance covered like trans healthcare and such. I gave them my personal email so they can email me privately and provide me with the information. So they did, and they said I have to start the process by going to my primary practitioner first. So I was like, okay. I decided to go in as like a regular checkup because honestly at that point I needed a regular checkup and it was free. So I set up the appointment, I went in, did my thing. Then my primary care doctor asked if I had any questions, and I told him what the deal was. Like, I've been questioning my gender identity. I'm wondering if there are any, like trans healthcare stuff that I can do. And he was like, yeah. Then he asked me some questions, and then he put in a referral for my case manager and to the behavioral health center. And he said that they should be contacting me like soon. And I was like, okay. I think it was like a day or 2 days later, that my case manager called me, and she asked me some more questions like what are my pronouns and stuff like that. And then I asked her if Kaiser like followed the W path standards of care, and she said yeah. And I asked that because like non-binary people and gender non-conforming people are included in that, and it said that like we should be having top surgery without having to go on hormone replacement therapy. And she said, yeah, but for now, Kaiser Permanente, at least at that time, still had that requirement of having to be on testosterone for at least a year before that's covered. And I was a little bit bummed out about that, but I was like, okay. But I was still going to try and keep going forward with it. At least get some therapy out of it, right? And try to figure my gender out, because I was still like, you know, about it. So first I went ahead and set up an appointment with this therapist that's around my area, right? She was good. She was great. But then I soon found out that, like, that particular therapist wasn't going to be the one who will, like, write the letter for, you know, the surgery, right? It has to be either these two specific therapists, and that is Bernard Mungin, who is in Burke, Virginia, or Emily Pitt, who is up in DC. And they're the only two therapists that are able to give letters for hormone replacement therapy and, like, surgeries and such. I wish that they told me this before from the beginning, but I mean, you know how the system is. Trans healthcare in America is just hectic. So I set up an appointment with Bernard Mungin. It was a video visit because, I mean, I could drive up to Burke, but honestly, I just don't like driving, you know, in general. And also it's free if you do video visit. So I, you know, told him, like, hey, like, I think I'm non-binary, and I would like to see if I can get top surgery covered without testosterone. And he informed me that, like, as of now, like, there is still that, like, 1 year of testosterone requirement, but right now they're trying to change that because I guess they're trying to make the Mid-Atlantic region's policies more like California's, right? I don't know why it's not consistent, like, throughout the nation, even though, you know, we're under the same company, right? But I mean, American healthcare is pretty hectic and chaotic, and trans healthcare in the US is even more hectic and chaotic. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? So fast forward to, I guess, maybe in the I guess spring, summerish time, I went to the Capital Trans Pride, which is up in DC, right? And I noticed that Kaiser's booth was there, and I got a flyer, and lo and behold, on the flyer it said that, like, top surgery is covered under Kaiser Permanente, and you don't need to be on testosterone, and you only need 1 letter from 1 therapist. And I was like, oh my god, that's great. And my therapist was there, Bernard was there, right? And they had, like, a panel, right? So I took the opportunity to, like, talk to him and, you know, see what's up, right? And he was like, yeah, like, I guess right then and there, they just changed the policy, you know, I guess in the middle of, like, 2019, right? And he said that I have no, you know, after having, you know, some sessions with you, I have no problem, like, writing you a letter and such. And I'm like, okay, great. They also had another surgeon. His name is on the panel that also does top surgery. His name is Dr. Philip Iriani. He's based in Kensington, Maryland, right? And I talked to him, and, you know, like, it was cool. It was great. But I guess in the end, like, I didn't end up going with him because I'm based in Virginia, and I guess they just refer me to the surgeon that was close to me, which is Dr. Chun Rhim, right? So, I mean, he was also cool and stuff. There is only one result from, or no, there are currently 2 top surgery results from Dr. Philip Iriani, if y'all want to, like, check it out. So, yeah. And then after that, a few months later, I finally in October 2019, I was like, okay, I think I'm ready for top surgery, and I would like to do the assessment now. And then, you know, my therapist was like, okay. He just asked me some questions, and then after that, he sent the assessment to my case manager, and he said that they should, like, contact me, right? On our next session, which was 2 weeks later, I told him, hey, I didn't get any call back from, you know, the case manager. Do you know if there are any updates or anything? And he was like, okay, well, here's the number. You can call them and see if there are any updates. And I was like, cool. The next day, I called the case manager, and she said she got my assessment, and then she asked me even more questions, and then she sent the paperwork into, I guess, the department, and they said that if they don't call me, you know, within a week, then call her back on that day at that time. And I was like, okay. Fast forward to a week later, I still didn't get any call back. So I called her again and let her know, hey, I didn't get anything yet. And she was like, okay. I sent them a reminder, and they should be contacting you. And I was like, okay, cool. It wasn't even an hour later that they finally called me, and they set up an appointment, a consultation appointment with Dr. Chun Rhim. And I was like, yeah, awesome, great. I think this was, I think at this time, it was in the beginning of November. So I had my top surgery consultation with Dr. Chun Rhim in November. And we talked. He answered my questions. He actually seems like a really cool guy, really chill, laid back, and he kind of seems to have like a sense of humor, you know. I got good vibes from him, and honestly, I liked him. Now, like, I only saw one result from him, right? but it was from a private, like, it was from a private group, so it's not like it's out there, you know, in the open, right? So, but I saw the result, and honestly, it was pretty good. Like, I liked it, you know, so I have even more confidence that, you know, he's gonna do a good job, right? So, and I guess a week later, after the consultation, they called me back to set up an appointment, to set up my top surgery date. And I set it up in February because I wanted to, you know, plan it out as far as I could so that I can collect enough PTO, save enough money, and also have some time to like process and get ready for this surgery, right? So they, at that time, they set up a date and time for my post-op appointment, and they did set up a date for the surgery date, but they haven't set up a time yet, and they said that the day before they will contact me on the exact time of the surgery. And I was like, okay. And they also said that they should be calling me to do my pre-op phone interview. And I was like, okay, cool. So fast forward to February. I went on my Kaiser Permanente app, and I noticed that my post-op appointment is gone, and I was kind of weirded out by that because it was there all this time, so I just wondered what happened. So I called them up and told them, hey, like, I noticed that like my post-op appointment is gone. I definitely did not cancel this. And they said, oh, looks like, you know, they canceled it for some reason, but we'll set you up. Another post-op appointment the next day. And I was like, okay, cool. And what about my pre-op interview thing? And they said, they should be contacting you, like, either tomorrow, which was like February 14th, or Tuesday, which is February 18th, you know, to tell me instructions on what to do. And I was like, okay, cool. So then I guess like later that day, they, I guess, finally called me to do the pre-op interview, and told me, you know, all the instructions on what I had to do. They asked me some questions, right? And apparently I had to buy this like antibacterial soap called, like, that has like CHG, and I have to like wash myself with it the night before and on the morning of surgery. And I was like, okay. And then fast forward to today, on February 19th at around like 11:45, they finally called me. Yeah, so they finally called me and told me that my and told me that my surgery time, or the time that I have to check in at the hospital, is at 6:15. So yeah, my surgery is tomorrow, February 20th at 6:15 a.m. So I'm pretty excited. I just had to like buy a bunch of supplies, and do a lot of meal prep, and do some last minute cleaning. Right, today I did the majority of my cleaning on Monday when I had the day off. Yeah, so I asked for 4 weeks off at my work, because honestly, I mean, I could have asked for 3 weeks off, but honestly, I don't know if I would have been 100% okay at 3 weeks. I just did 5 weeks just in case, right? So yeah, yeah, like, that's how I was able to, get top surgery covered by Kaiser Permanente as a non-binary trans person who is not on testosterone. I understand that this is only my experience. For all I know, other people might have completely different experiences than me, and also keep in mind that, like, I got the most expensive plan at my work just in case, there is some weird thing going on, like, oh, you have the cheaper plan, I'm sorry, we don't cover that, or something, but that's only because I had the means to, pay for that. And I understand that other people may not have that spare change to do it, but I did. So yeah, I'm going in tomorrow, so I will definitely record it, and I'll definitely let y'all know how it goes, and yeah, I'll see y'all later.